This is my camera bag. I've been using it for about 2 years and it's been absolutely fantastic. However, this is a bag that I'm considering switching to. So will I ditch this bag and go for this bag instead? That is the question of today's video. In case you're not familiar, this is the Peak Design Everyday Backpack, and it's been out for about 3 years, and it's really notable because it's a really interesting and cool construction that really stands out, and I think it's one of the most fashionable camera backpacks that we've seen in a really long time. This is the 20-liter version, and I've had it for about 2 years and use it exclusively for photography, specifically when I need to carry both cameras and laptops, because it has a really cool laptop sleeve here for carrying like anything up to a 15-inch laptop. I love this bag so much that I got to a point where I broke it recently. So if you notice here, the zipper actually came off. It actually started with the zipper coming off of the bag itself, detaching right here, and then a couple days later the zipper itself totally came off and I can no longer zip up this side of the bag. So unfortunately this bag is no longer usable for me, which is really sad because other than the zipper, this is still a really great bag overall. So as I was figuring out what to do about my primary camera bag, I started researching and discovered that Peak Design has a really great lifetime warranty on all of their products. So I filled out their online form, and within a couple of days someone reached out to me and we arranged to have this bag replaced. So they are shipping me a new version of this bag. But in November 2019, Peak Design actually released a version 2 of all of their everyday bags, including this bag. So this is the Peak Design Everyday Backpack version 1. There is currently a version 2. However, Peak Design still has some of these in stock, so I unfortunately am not getting the version 2. They are replacing the version 1, but I really have no complaints about that because it's still a free bag that I don't have to pay for, which is incredibly generous, and that lifetime warranty alone is a good reason to look at getting a Peak Design bag. But since I had to get a new camera bag and it had been 2 years since I got a new one, I figured it was worth looking into what other bags have come out since then and if I wanted to stick with this Peak Design bag at all. So as I was doing my research, the only other bag that I was really considering was Peter McKinnon's Nomadic backpack, which looked really great, also recently came out, so that was definitely an option. But I didn't decide to go for that bag because it is too big. It's 35 liters, and the Peak Design bags that I like and have been working with for a long time are the 20-liter versions. So as I did my research, the best bag that seemed to fit my needs was another version of the Peak Design Everyday Backpack, which is the Peak Design Everyday Backpack Zip. This is an all-new bag design from Peak Design, and it plays on the original Everyday Backpack, but the main difference is that instead of this magnetic flap that you get on the original Everyday bag, on the Everyday Zip, we no longer have that magnetic clasp, and instead it's a zipper that goes all around the bag. So now you can access that top portion via the zipper. Another key difference that is applicable to all of the V2 versions of the bags are that the straps are a lot more comfortable, they are more padded, and also just there's little design touches everywhere that are different. Instead of a leather handle here on the side, we have just another type of material, which is still really thick and really good looking. This Everyday Zip bag is available in the 20-liter version, which is what I have, or you can go even smaller and get the 15-liter version. The other feature I really like about Peak Design backpacks is the side access. So on both the Everyday Backpack and the Everyday Zip, you can access the contents of your bag either through the top or either side. So once you unzip the sides, you'll notice that there are some dividers that come in the bag when you first get it. And you can either leave these dividers in here to help organize your camera contents or other items, or you can take the dividers out altogether. And the dividers actually do add some weight to your bag because they are really thick and actually do a really great job of supporting your camera gear. But if you decide to use the bag without the dividers, they are super easy to remove via the Velcro. Like most photographers, I have a camera bag problem in that I have too many, or at least it would seem that way until I explain why I have so many bags. So the biggest bag that I own and use on a regular basis is this Think Tank Airport Advantage roller bag. It's kind of like a mini suitcase, and it does indeed fit under the seat in front of you in most major airplanes. Because of the size of this bag, this is definitely not my everyday carry, and I really reserve it for special use cases when I need to carry more camera gear than usual. And I also use it in conjunction with one of my backpacks so that the backpack is more mobile and I don't have to worry about lugging my roller bag along with me. The second largest camera bag that I use regularly is also my absolute favorite, and that is the In-Case DSLR Pro Pack. This is a relatively cheap bag. It's under $100, and it is actually quite big, and it's incredibly comfortable. Wearing this backpack is like having a cloud on your back. And that's what I absolutely love about this bag. Even when you put stuff inside of it, it is still super comfortable thanks to that padding all over the back and on the arm straps. Another really cool feature about this backpack is the fact that you access it from the back. So this is a fantastic backpack. I've actually owned this backpack the longest out of any of my bags. And if you look at it now, it's been all around the world with me and still looks like it's brand new. So this is my absolute favorite camera backpack that I own, and I use it a lot, but I don't use it every day. And that's mainly because this backpack is just a little too big for the standard set of camera gear that I have to carry around with me. And that is where the Peak Design bag has come in handy for me. I got this bag as like a city backpack for when I'm going into the city and I might have a photo shoot or two here and there, and also have some downtime to go to a coffee shop and work on some photos in between. I do that quite a bit in my regular everyday life. And this was just the right bag to carry everything that I needed to do that. But like most camera bags, this is not the perfect bag, and there are still a few things that I'm not the biggest fan of with this bag. First of all were the straps. They were super stiff and really cut into my shoulders, especially when I had camera gear inside of this bag. Second of all, there's a known problem with this bag where, because there are so many zips and different access points, these zippers can sometimes come undone as you're walking, and sometimes camera gear falls out. Now that hasn't happened to me specifically, but before I bought this bag, I did a lot of research, and there are lots of reviews of people saying that it happened to them. So I was definitely sketched out by that. But to Peak Design's defense, they did a really great job of making these zippers such that they can loop into these little cords that are built into the backpack. And so as long as you do that, that actually does keep the zips pretty tight, and you don't have that problem of your gear accidentally falling out. Now this solution might seem really flimsy, but again, I've had my backpack set up like this for 2 years, never had a problem with my gear falling out. However, this is still something that I'd like to see improved upon, just for a little bit more peace of mind. The next downside to this bag also has to do with this magnetic flap up front. So in theory, I like how this works, how it's easy access for me to reach in and grab whatever I need. But it didn't feel very secure, because if it's that easy for me to reach into it, then it's also easy for someone else to reach into it. So in most cases, I use my camera bags to transport my gear on site. Once I'm on site, the camera gear largely comes out of my camera bag, and I wear it as I'm walking around taking my shots. Meanwhile, this camera bag stays on the side, and I have to come back and make sure that it's still secure. And this everyday backpack did not have a way to securely lock every aspect of it, so that part was something that I wanted to see improved in a future version. And the last part of this bag that I was not a fan of was the laptop sleeve. So the main reason why I got this Peak Design bag to begin with is that I like the fact that you could carry both camera gear and a laptop, because there are lots of bags out there where you cannot carry your laptop. So this pocket here is your laptop sleeve, and you can supposedly carry up to a 15-inch laptop in here, and I have indeed tested that. It's true. However, it is still a really tight fit to put a laptop in here. So every time I would stick my laptop in, it was like shoving it down, and it was a little bit scary. I was like, am I going to break my laptop by sticking it in this bag, especially when it's full of camera gear? So that part also made me really uneasy, and I'd like to see that this laptop compartment expands on my new camera bag. So with all those things in mind, let's take a look at my new Peak Design Everyday Backpack Zip and see if those improvements have been been made and if this is a viable camera backpack that I'll be using going forward. So this is everything that I'm able to currently fit inside of my Peak Design Everyday Backpack. And as you can see, it's quite a bit of stuff. We've got 2 camera bodies, 2 lenses, a monopod even, a bunch of everyday carry stuff, and a laptop. So I'll go ahead and show you how this fits into the everyday backpack. Alright, so at this point we've got all of the camera gear inside. I tried to secure the zipper here so that everything doesn't come tumbling out. This tiny little monopod goes over on the side pocket here, and I love this monopod because it gets super long really quickly, and it's just really great for shooting overhead shots or stabilizing your camera if you're shooting video, and it condenses down into, you know, the size of my arm. I managed to stick the laptop inside, my 15-inch MacBook Pro, and we've got a bunch of pocket space here, which I really like, and that's generally where all of these small items go. Then this top pocket here, you can see that we've got the A7R III with the 55mm f1.8 lens, and we've still got quite a bit of space up here. So this is where I would stick my spare batteries and also my flash modifier. Told you I was all about security, so this is what I use to tether my bag to something if I'm on site and I might be worried about that bag going missing. The only problem with this bag, again, is that you can't actually lock it, so someone could still come and take all your stuff out and just leave your bag there if they really wanted to. The rocket blower, bunch of mints, so you can always stay fresh. And of course your lens cloth. This is usually clipped to one of my zippers. And then this little pocket here I always really liked. It's like a little magnetic pocket, and typically I put either my wallet or also business cards go right in here. I'll also use this side pocket, put my memory card wallet, and then I've got a little tether thing that just attaches right there so that this doesn't go missing. I've had this go missing before and it's terrifying, which is also why you'll find a tile on it so that I don't ever lose my memory cards. And that is how I pack up the Peak Design Everyday Backpack. If I'm in a situation where I need to carry more lenses or just more accessories that don't fit in this backpack, then this is where this Think Tank belt pack comes in really handy. It's a really thick belt, and I've got the Lens Changer 50 and the strobe stuff zippered containers here. And these are really great just for carrying extra lenses, or even a flash, or just things that don't fit inside of your backpack that you might need on your photo shoot. And so whenever I get on site, usually I empty the backpack, put all the cameras on straps and walk around and take my shots. And I'll also have this belt pack on me. And then this backpack, when it's all emptied out, just goes in a corner, and I go back to it after I'm done shooting and put all my stuff back inside. And on to the next test, which is what I'm most curious about. Here is the Peak Design Everyday Backpack 20-liter zip, and we're gonna see if I can fit all the stuff that I could usually fit in my Everyday Backpack V1, see if that fits into the Everyday zip. If so, then this is my brand new camera backpack. So we're gonna unzip this section here, which is where the laptop goes, and it still feels pretty tight. I'm a little skeptical. I think this one, they say that even a 16-inch laptop can fit in here. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, we can see that there's several dividers and a little magnetic flap in here. So this is my 15-inch MacBook Pro 2015. So it's on the older side and it is a little thicker, but it's still a great functioning laptop. And ooh, it's tight, it's tight. Yeah, I don't think a 16-inch could fit in here. 15 barely does it. It's very snug, which I guess gives you some security. But yeah, so the laptop does fit. We've got some pocket space, but wow, it's nowhere near as flexible as in the old bag. But we can probably stick a few things in here, such as my safety tethers. Those are pretty thin, those will fit. Maybe some pens. Go ahead and zip that guy up. Let's go ahead and unzip everything here. I love this nice and spacious pocket up top, but you see that, yeah, if you stick some things near the laptop container, then they'll start to bulge out a bit, bleeding into your space. But I like this zippered pocket here. It's not nearly as nice as that magnetic flap that you get in the everyday backpack, but still, some nice space here. Oop. Just have to be careful based on how much you pull these zips down to access that. So this is a little bit harder to access, but still nice to have a expandable pocket here. Go about sticking the camera gear inside. All right, there we go. We did indeed fit everything from the everyday backpack into the everyday zip, which is a really great sign. I filled up this 20-liter bag pretty much to the brim. There's very little space for anything else, and it'll probably weigh down pretty heavily. Again, this backpack by itself is about 3.4 pounds with the dividers, and when I add all that camera gear plus the laptop, it gets significantly heavier, but I've got everything I need to do a photo shoot for the type of work that I do, plus carry my laptop if I have some time to stop at a cafe, do some work on the side. So I can go out all day like this and, you know, do my job. The first thing you should do when you get a Peak Design bag like this is go down here and make sure that these zips are attached. The nice thing about these Peak Design bags is that Peak Design is giving you a lot of customization for how you want to use it. I found that in the 2 years that I've been using my everyday backpack, I have my habits and how I access my gear, so I really only access from the top and from the side, and for me that tends to be the left side. I basically committed to never using this side of the bag so that I could keep it secure and not have to worry about those zippers slipping and creeping up on you. So the first thing I'm going to do is secure these bottom zippers to my bag so that they don't have this problem of accidentally opening like this. If you use these bags without securing the zipper, you'll probably notice that your zippers will do this over time. And what can happen is that they can make their way all the way up here, and then your stuff can start slipping out. So that's that problem I was talking about earlier. So the nice thing about Peak Design zippers though is that they do make it pretty easy to undo them like this and loop them through these bottom flaps on the bag and then just secure them. Your zips will still sometimes get up to here, but that's not enough room for your gear to fall out, but just be cautious of that. And so when you get a new bag, I recommend doing that to your bottom flaps at the very least to make sure that they're going to be secure and not pop off. So I've thought about a couple of ways to permanently attach these flaps here. And you know, my first thought was maybe I cut these off so I have more access to this part of the zipper here, but I don't want to, you know, accidentally void my warranty. And I do actually like the way that these look, so we're going to keep these on, but instead we're going to try to work with as much space as we have here. And one way that you could secure these is by using a zip tie. So you can zip tie this, you know, and then just make sure that these are super secure. The only thing is I don't like the look of them. It's really plastic, and the whole reason, one of the reasons why I use this bag is because it looks so good, so I don't want to ruin it with plastic. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is using these key rings. You can get a bunch of these key rings really cheap at Walmart, on Amazon, and I think what I'm going to do is just thread them through like this. Alright, so I got one key ring on, and there we go. That's going to be a pretty permanent fixture there, but if I need to, I can always go back and take this off. In the meantime, I think that blends in really well with the original design, and also make sure that these zippers it's going to be really tough for these to come apart. Let's go ahead and do that to the other side now. So now that we secured the bottom of the bag, that helps prevent these zips from accidentally opening up, but it also gives us a way to make sure that the bottom of the bag can't easily be accessed. And sure, someone could, if they really wanted to, take off these key rings and access the bottom, but I just want to make it a little bit harder for them to do that. So I feel like the bottom has been secured. Let's work on the top. It's also worth noting that this everyday backpack zip has 4 zips in total in the main compartment. So you've got the 2 main zips up top, and on the bottom you've got 2 more that we just secured, and then there's yet another one for the laptop compartment. So the nice thing about this bag is that you can get really flexible about where you want to anchor your zips. You could anchor a zip here so that your only zipping ability is to access the top or the side, Or I could anchor this zip here so I can only access the sides. So I like that aspect of the bag, but again, just knowing myself and how I tend to use, or how I tended to use my older bag, I have an idea of how I'll be accessing this bag. It'll be mostly from the top and the side here. So after some consideration, I think what I'm gonna do is just leave these two zips. I'm not gonna anchor them anywhere, but if I need to secure them, I'm gonna take this luggage lock that I have, and it's just skinny enough that it will be able to fit through the metal parts of the zipper here, and I can lock it. I can lock these together. So if I end up wanting to lock everything together, what I'll do is I'll lock those two zips together, probably anchor it, and this is so long that I could even go over to the laptop portion and anchor this all together. So this isn't super glamorous. I'll probably have to work on exactly how I do this regularly, but it indeed secures my bag really well. I can't get to the laptop portion, I can't get to the main camera portion, and I'll probably take it up a notch by using this cable that I got along with this lock and, you know, threading that through this part right here, and then just tether this to something like a column or something that's not going to move, and that way my bag stays secure somewhere. So in conclusion, am I keeping this everyday zip bag, or am I going back to my everyday backpack? I think I'm going with the everyday zip, and there's a few reasons for that. Number one, I can fit everything that I did with my 20-liter everyday backpack into the everyday zip, so I'm not losing out on space. And number two, I can lock this bag. It took a little bit of hacking of sorts, or just making some DIY changes to the bag, but I still got to a point where I could safely secure this bag in case I need to leave it somewhere. And finally, comfort has really been improved on this bag. I think the straps are a lot thicker and they sit on my shoulders a lot better, and they don't really dig in, so I appreciate that aspect of it. And this bag still is really, really good looking. I think they improved on the overall visual design of it, which is fantastic, and just the right size. 20 liters for me, given my height, I'm 5'2", and also the type of gear that I tend to carry when I'm out and about on a daily photo shoot. This bag and its size suit me really, really well. So I'll be sticking with this Peak Design Everyday Zip bag, and also really love the lifetime warranty. So I know that if anything happens to this bag at any point in time, Peak Design, based on my experience with them, they're super responsive, great customer service, and they stand by their warranty and will help you out if anything happens to your bag. I think that's all I have to say, but yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about this bag or any other bags, camera related stuff, let me know in the comments below, and actually tell me what bag you use. I'm always on the hunt for a better and improved camera bag, so let me know what kind of camera bags that you like to use. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.